Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Simply Sketchy. And today I brought with me channel standard Dave from the very cool YouTube channel Total Blackout Painting, who is, I think, making a new series thingy. He doesn't really talk much about it, so here's your chance. Commercial, show yourself off a bit, buddy.
Yeah, at this point, would it be appropriate to say that we're both also from this channel, the Sultans of Chatelet? I don't know if that
Maybe.
should be appropriate to put in here, but
Well, if you
but
want to
yeah,
hear us
so
talk about politics and other things, go to Sultans of Chatelet. However, if you want us to
yeah,
talk about random shit and other things, then here you stay.
news, views, information, rants, and complaints,
Yeah,
current issues. That's
spicy
uh, that's
stuff.
our that's the Sultans every Saturday at is it 2 p.m. London time.
Pretty much three
So
o'clock Norwegian time.
it's 7 a.m. my time. So
Ooh,
anyhow.
sucks to be
But
American, dude.
today, I have yet to get Trim to do a nature scene. Of course, it just hasn't been something we talk about because mostly, we talk about characters and figures and stuff. And
Yep.
Trim's incredible at that, but he's also really good at landscapes. And I never bring that challenge to him.
No,
And
and
so,
after Bleach's thing, you kind of feel like, I want to do this too.
yeah, yeah. Also, it's a really fascinating. It's just a really iconic piece of American history. Um, everybody in America knows about Old Faithful Geyser.
Yep.
Every American does. Most
Heck,
people
even
outside of
I knew it
America.
even in outside of America as well.
Yeah,
Most
exactly,
of us know about
exactly.
Old Yeller because, well, you keep yelling about him.
So yeah, Old Faithful. For
Wait, I
those who
said
don't
Old
know,
Yeller, didn't I?
Yeah, you said Old Yeller.
I mean,
Because we won't
Old
stop yelling.
Faithful and Old Yeller. We know about both of them.
Yeah, Old Yeller's the dog that had to get shot, just an
Aw,
FYI. In
right.
case you haven't
Yeah.
seen that, spoiled that story for you. Um, but yeah, Old Faithful is a geyser that is located in Yellowstone Park here in Montana, in the United States. It was first discovered in the late summer of 1870 during the Washburn-Legford-Doane expedition, which was the first official government-backed exploration of the Yellowstone region. Coincidentally enough, one of the people that went along with that expedition was a guy named F.J. Haynes, who is a photographer. He was one of the first photographers, and he was the first official photographer of Yellowstone National Park. And coincidentally enough, Bleach and I are going to be talking about him coming up in our next episode of the Autist Circle on both my channel and Bleach's channel.
There we go.
For the subtle shill. And the image I gave Trim of this is based off of one of his images, one of his iconic images. He documented the West for the first time for a lot of Americans to ever see, and a lot of people to ever see. Of course, because most people didn't actually get to explore and see the Old West or the Wild West or anything like that. They didn't get to see nature. Like shit, most people don't get to explore and do that now. So,
Too many city people, dude.
well, I mean, just by necessity or by the, I don't know necessity, but like the mere existence of cities is going to imply a population density. And since you're going to have a big city, there's necessarily going to be a population there that is not going to ever be able to leave that city just based on economic factors alone.
Yeah.
Right? So you'll always have like a beggar class. You'll always have a class of people that never get to get out of their city. And that is actually largely why art has been so important throughout history. And why, on my channel, we talk mostly about like not portraits, but scenes. I would say scenes. So they're not specifically about like a picture of a person, but they're a picture of people. It's scenes composed of individuals doing things. Although we did talk about a guy, Bierstadt, who did do a lot of landscape portraiture, and he did these giant, massive, like 12-foot by 12-foot canvases that were just nature paintings, and really they highlighted just the sublime beauty and massive and awesome presence of these things in our world.
Yeah.
And much in the same way that, like, I liked painting space scenes and shit when I was able to paint, because I've always been
that
enamored
might return
by
one day soon, I hope.
Hopefully. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do it again at my apartments here, but we'll see. But the notion of, like, there are so many just heartbreakingly beautiful things in this world.
Oh,
Just amazing and inspiring things in this world that most people will never see and never get to witness. And so they can witness it vicariously through art. Dude.
I can come up with an example, and that is the Norwegian coastline. Like, it is a thing I love to do whenever I am not utterly exhausted from work. It is to sit down at the wherever there's a panoramic view, which is mostly on the upper decks of the ship. And when we pass, like uh, Ålesund, Trollfjord, and many of the areas up a little bit on the middle and a little to the north of the country as well in the southern, you get to see like mountains. During the winter, it's like these titans of gray and white. But during summer, you have the grays of stone, right, clashing with the emerald of the grass and the trees. It is breathtaking. It is honestly. There are people coming on to our boat, and they are so struck by it that many people just go around crying tears of joy, like absolutely stunned. And I understand. I don't even fault them for it either, because I didn't truly start loving my country. I took it very much for granted until after I started working where I worked.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, the sublime beauty of nature.
Yes.
Like, there, nature inspires something in humans at a primal level that I mean, I think it's something that you can't avoid. Once you experience something truly beautiful in nature. So that's why, of course, when these guys, the explorers in the West and then stuff like that, but they captured these images and brought them back to the rest of the West, right? They brought them back to Western society, and into Europe too. Bierstadt's paintings were so massive and beautiful that they, much like you were saying, you just sit out and you sit out on the deck or wherever and just absorb the sublime beauty around you.
Yeah, it's the best way to describe it.
And that's what those paintings did.
Yeah, the best way to describe it is majesty. Like,
yeah.
Many people even like to compare with a lot of scenes from Lord of the Rings, which honestly, pretty darn fitting.
Yeah, exactly. So you're just it's really inspirational to people, and it might not be like a call to action to everybody, but it is very much a call to serenity to most people. So that's why the documentation of the exploration of the American West was such an important thing for westward expansion, because it showed the rest of it showed the people back east. They're like, hey, this is what's waiting for you. This is the beauty of what's waiting for you out here.
Yeah.
This,
look at what you
this
can
majestic.
attain. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, this is where you can you don't have to be, and especially back then, because cities are shitty and bleak places now, but they were even worse back then.
Oh yeah.
They were really
Cities
just
is where hope goes to die. There are a few who will make it, some move to the cities to find some kind of happiness or a way to achieve some kind of greater life, but not many will. It is just a place where your soul goes to die.
well, I mean, yeah, you could say that. It's more hive-like than, which can be dehumanizing for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But throughout all of history, cities are where the majority of humanity is clustered.
Yep.
Even in, like, no great civilization has survived the erasure of history without massive cities.
Yeah.
Even that didn't fucking help with some
necess-
of them.
It's a bit of a
So-
necessary evil, though, to be completely fair. I know they're
Oh, yeah, no,
necessary for like
100%.
civilization, but you need a few cities and then towns around there. We can't all live in cities. It is just not who we are. It's not in our nature. It's not
Right.
how we're meant to be. Some are meant to be there, and
Well,
those are the high-minded people.
it is contrary. It is contrary to our nature to do that. However, it is also in our nature to try to maximize productivity on everything, right? To try to make everything run as efficiently and smoothly as possible, and that is what creates the necessity for cities.
Yeah.
The need for improvement and expansion, because you can't as much as everyone's an individual, you can't accomplish the same things as an individual as you can as a group.
Yeah.
Right. And this is a very good demonstration of that too. This these expedition pictures of Old Faithful, because it wasn't just one fucking guy going out there, and taking all these pictures, or one guy going out there and taking notes. There were expeditions of guys that they sent out west to do that shit. There was full troops of people, it'd be like 15, 20 guys that are all packing up and getting ready to go out there, either on horses or on they'd take a boat on the Missouri down to on the Mississippi River down to a certain place in Missouri and embark from there.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they could catch a railroad, or they could catch a train part of the way. But the guys who were surveying for the railroad didn't do that shit. They were going on their own. And after the small bit of research that I have done on the thing, I tend to think that the guys like Bierstadt, he took a lot of photographs. He was a photographer out there too. But the guys who did not do photography and were just out there drawing and doing art and stuff didn't work like near as hard as the guys who did photography.
No, there was a lot of stuff necessary for photography back in the day.
Yeah, like a lot of heavy fucking equipment. A lot of heavy equipment and toxic chemicals.
Oh, yeah.
And it was sensitive shit too, So it was like they're carrying this really sensitive lab of equipment with them everywhere they go to try to capture these images, to bring back to the rest of the country, And of course, when they're doing it for documentation purposes for like the railroad and stuff like that, sure, but still, it was a lot of work for what they were fucking doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really inspirational, personally.
Oh yeah.
They would go out to do that. Like,
back in the day when people risked their life for taking the perfect picture, it kind of meant more than it does today. The people who the TikTokers and social media thing, But here it's
that's for stupid pictures though.
Yeah,
They're
it
not
is.
like capturing anything, because those nature photographers, like those wildlife photographers that capture like some of those really amazing, super intimate moments
Yeah,
from
that's what I
uh
mean.
yeah,
Skilled
like that
people,
shit's.
masters of their craft, and now it's what do we have?
Is
This
that the same color you were using before, dude? Or
is
is that a
it?
different color?
It's
Pre-stream. Is that the
I
same
think
color you were using? Because it looks a lot better. That color you were just using. Yeah, that looks.
yeah,
That's not the same.
it's not the same. No, it's not the same.
Okay, okay. Because it
We're
looks a lot
have
more blue.
for those
Yeah,
watching,
sorry.
me and
Before
Dave
we
were
started
having some
recording,
issues.
yeah, there's some weird shit going on between the video encoding in OBS and his capture card.
Yeah.
And we played around with it and played around with it.
Apparently, there's a type of blue that turns into a greenish teal. Really
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. There's just some colors that don't translate well. Like most of them look fine, but we had this one really good water-looking color, and it didn't look good on the recording. So
No, it did not.
unfortunately, Trim was forced to not use it. So I was excited to see because it looked good here, but that's not the same color. It's a slightly
Hey, you
different
can look
one,
out
but it
what
still looks
you.
good.
When one door closes, another opens.
So yeah. But all right, I'll talk a little bit more about Old Faithful.
Do that.
So they call it Old Faithful because it has a distinct cycle. Like it goes off on a regular interval, and it's all depending on the length of the previous eruption. So if the previous eruption was a short one, which is less than 2.5 minutes, then the next eruption will be anywhere from an hour to an hour and 10 minutes after that.
Yeah.
And then if the previous eruption was a long one, then you're looking at 90 to 100 minutes between until the next eruption.
So
So
I get why
that's-
they call it Old Faithful now.
Yeah, because it's incredibly reliable. That's exactly why. So that's super interesting that they've been able to time it like that. And it's been going on that schedule for ostensibly for millennium.
Yep.
You know, but we've observed it to be on that pattern for well over 100 years. You know, probably closer to 2.5, almost 3 at this point. So they, or I guess it's 1870. So over 100-something years, it's been going along that we've been timing it.
Which is honestly just damn impressive in my opinion.
So it has actually lengthened a little bit over time, and they attribute that to earthquakes because when they first got it, it was like an hour. But now it's changed, which of course it's in it, and I'm sure it's all because of the particularities of the geography underneath, right? Like there's just caves have formed in such a way that it the caves have formed in such a way that it creates these pockets that create a predictable interval.
Yeah.
Which that's fascinating to me. Like here in Idaho, we have a lot of volcanic caves. Like the Northwest has, especially in the Montana and Idaho and Washington regions and Eastern Oregon, has a lot of like volcanic activity. There's a lot of geothermal wells and stuff around here. Of course, we don't, it's not like volcanoes and shit like that really, but we do have, active geothermal activity. And so the, crap, I forgot where I was going with that. So the particularities of the, so we have a cave here. We have some volcanic caves here called, and one of them is called the Shoshone Ice Caves is what they refer to it as. And it's because it's a cave that they found just out in the middle of this field, this big giant volcanic cave, and it's full of ice. And so when they discovered that in the 1800s, when the pioneers first came in, they were like, oh, cool, ice. And so they started just taking ice out of the cave and using that for, the ice houses and stuff like that. They harvested a lot of ice, and the ice would keep coming back. And the reason for it was because the cave wasn't actually closed. It was actually a tube. It was a large volcanic tube. But the far end, like the particularities of the way that the opening was settled, and then the way that the rocks inside it were wedged in, it allowed just enough air, like just enough wind to come in to create this really cool draft that would freeze everything in the cave. And so, and that's just purely by geologic, purely how the geology of the region, which is fascinating. You know, like there's this giant, and the cave is in the middle of this giant rocky sagebrush prairie, too. It's a hilly, you know, I mean, it's kind of a hilly region, but it would just be like in the middle of this hot ass desert, just chugging along, and then all of a sudden you find a hole in the fucking ground, and it's full of ice. Like, what in the ruddy fuck is going on here? You wouldn't, that's so crazy to think about. It's just all of a sudden ice in the middle of the desert, and it's just because this cave. And there came a point, like, it was a big thing. People would come down, but it came to a point where they harvested so much ice out of it that it was having a hard time replenishing it. Yeah. And so eventually they shut it down, and it turned into, like, the National Park Service got it, and now it's a designated park area, and they do tours and stuff, which is kind of cool.
Very nice.
Gosh, last time I took my it's funny, I remember the last time I was down there, I took pictures. We took my mom, my youngest son and I took my mom, and my youngest son was just barely taller than my mom at the time, and my mom's fucking short. She's like 4'11" or something like that. She's really short. And my son was just barely taller than her at that time, and now he's taller than me. So it has only been a couple of years. So
Well, they do grow. That's kind of the point.
yeah, it's been like 5 years, I think, but so there's a lot of really cool particularities in nature that create things like, you know, timed intervals, you know, natural water clocks that lead to these phenomenon like Old Faithful, you know, just a, you know, incredibly reliable geyser.
Yeah.
So
See. I don't know if you're trying.
and the original images were black and white, and we're going to be on my upcoming stream, we're going to be talking about the black and white, but I think Trim's image here is based more on a recoloring that was done, of course, because early photography was all black and white.
Yep.
So afterwards, what the artists would do is they would go back and hand color the cells in the photographs and the prints, so that they would hand color the cells and the prints so that they could, or in the negatives, so that they could make prints that had color prints, basically. They take a black and white image, and kind of like they did with Technicolor when they colorized black and white films. It was all post film color correction, and that's what a lot of the early color photography was post exposure color correction.
Interesting.
Yeah, so a lot of those old photographers were, you know, some of them were as much, you know, like
Painters.
actual physical artists and painters in a way as they were photographers, because of some of the work they had to do with the post-processing.
Yeah. They weren't just,
like-
look at this picture I took with my camera. It's
Right.
I used the what was it called? Right filter. Look how skilled
Yeah.
I am. Ugh.
Well, it is really like photography is an art, and being able to capture an image in a way that portrays it accurately to the man, I love that background, that portrays it accurately to the viewers, because those little white streaks look like white-cap mountains in the background, look like subtle white-cap mountains in the background. That looks really
Yep.
good. So
Try something
And
different.
it was because it was a new form of art at the time, an experimental form of art.
Mm-hmm.
And it focused on bringing accuracy to the people. You know, more so than bringing style. It was more to bring accuracy, but a lot of that was done in an artistic way. Let's say, I really believe that photography is a very artistic thing.
I mean, at least it used to be.
Yeah. Well, so I will maintain that I think legit photography, like nature photography, not like everybody has a cell phone in their pocket photography, because definitely that does cheapen it cheapens the medium by having such a saturation of it. Like when photo, and you're old enough to remember photo albums. I bet
Yes,
your
I
folks
do.
still have some photo albums. When you would go over and then they just start looking at photo albums, like the relatives would come over and then all of a sudden, you know, mom's busting out the photo album and grandma and mom are looking at photos to you know,
Yep.
but now we don't do that. Now it's like, hey, I'll put it on, go check out my Facebook. It's all on there,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, or let me pull out my phone and inundate you with all this bullshit that you don't care about because you've already seen these pictures 100,000 fucking times and you don't
Yeah.
care about them.
That's the
So,
sad thing. It, mm, it's hard. It's just,
so
honestly, it's just
it
sad.
is, but I think that, but again, you know, it's like the proliferation of the media. Yeah, I don't like that. The proliferation of the media kind of also highlights when some of it sucks. Like, it makes it easier for you to pick out good photography
Yeah.
because there's so much shitty photography. It makes it easier for you to recognize good photography.
Yep.
You know, kind of like painting and art and stuff like that. There's so much shitty digital art and stuff and paintings and stuff online that when you see something good, like it's anomalous or exceptional enough to grab your attention.
Pretty much.
Um,
When it's beautiful, you truly
Oh.
see it, and it's
right. And but I guess that's the whole notion of competition anyways. The whole natural notion of competition.
pretty much.
Get into some really fucking metaphysical kind of shit there. Talking about the Pareto principle and whatnot. Get into some per capita stuff. But no. But I think it's we already did our hate monger episode. I think it's fascinating how much these early artists worked to how dedicated these early photographers were to this craft.
Yeah.
And I think that part of it, like, portraiture was huge, and you know, photography was already a widely accepted thing, but they did so much to drive the medium forward and open up what it can do, what it could display, what it could do, show people that you know, look what we can bring you with this technology.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful images of sublime nature and awe-inspiring things, you know, things that make you feel reverence towards the universe.
Yeah. Like,
You know, to sound kind
it's
of
still
gay
one
and
of my
universalist
favorite
about
moments. It's one of my favorite moments at, I don't care. Fuck it. People are gonna be like, oh, that's gay. F. Okay, fuck you. Go find some joy in your
No.
life, dumbass.
You know what? I don't think there's anything, less gay than enjoying nature, personally.
Well, true,
But if
you
I'm
can,
honest,
but
I
it's
don't
the
think there's any.
old-timey gay, which it means, yeah, I like being happy too.
Well, it's happy, yeah, exactly.
You know, the proper
I
meaning
guess I
before
don't see
certain
anything gay about enjoying nature.
Exactly. Before a certain someone started stealing the definition. And that's where I leave that.
No. I think I think the adoration and preservation of the beauty of nature for everybody is one of the most manly things you can do, personally.
It is.
Because if you preserve something, if you work to preserve something like this, if you work to preserve national parks and forests and stuff like that, you are maintaining that heritage and that thing for your future and for the legacy. That's a legacy that you're passing on to future generations in your country, future generations of people just like you, so that they can enjoy it and love it in the same way you did. And I believe that's an incredibly noble pursuit.
It is.
Personally.
It is, without a shadow of a doubt. It is a very noble pursuit, and it's honestly just a pure good.
Yeah.
You need to take care of because environmentalism has just gone too much, right? It's reached crazy points where you have it's now just it's a cult. However,
it's just top oil screeching.
Yeah, it's retards, just retards.
A lot of it, yep.
And like not even well intentioned anymore. It's just screaming just for the sake of just making noise and being destructive to everyone who isn't you. Now, well, now I lost my head a bit. Give me a second. Got a little bit distracted because I having fun here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Which was the one that was?
Philosopher Falls. Some of the names on these brushes is just fucking wild.
Yeah.
Like, that don't make any sense to me.
Of course not. Of course not. They don't even make sense to me either. I think the names are fun and that's it. But yeah, in the olden times when I was a wee lad and Dave was in his prime. Sorry. It being wary and respectful of nature meant that you wouldn't just throw trash in it. You wouldn't dump toxic chemicals into it. You wouldn't use it for pointless virtue signaling, right? You actually took care of nature around you. You respected the balance of how things were. Nowadays, though, it's all performative and a lie.
Well, that's because caring for nature in that way is a function of a high-trust society.
Yes.
And it's because you're extending enough empathy to the people around you, to enough empathy and grace to the people around you to know that you wouldn't like that to be that way, so you have to work to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a big thing in modern society, is people don't understand that it's their responsibility to make sure society doesn't suck. A lot of people bitch about how awful society is without making any attempts at all to make things better.
Yeah, they just want to bitch and moan. That's it. That's all they're there for.
And well, and it's like people complaining about the lack of children,
yeah.
Right? And especially when it's women complaining about, well, there's not enough children. It's like, bitch, well, that's your fault. Your responsibility. You fault. Nobody else can do it.
Who made that a problem, huh?
Right. And I saw it on. I was watching Rachel Wilson, who I fucking love. I love Andrew and Rachel Wilson. I love those guys. They're awesome to watch. But I was watching Rachel Wilson, I think on Whatever or something, and there was some girl on there saying, well, I'm not going to have kids. I know somebody else will have kids, but I'm not going to do it. And she pointed out, it's like, that attitude is the reason why we're having this problem right now, because you're pushing that responsibility off on someone else like you're not responsible for it too.
Yeah.
You know, like any woman that wants to complain about low birth rates is like, well, you got to do something about it.
It's all just a fucking performance, dude. That's all it is.
And you can't complain about low birth rates and be like, oh, I'm at low birth rates, but I have no intention of having kids. It's like, well, then you're part of the fucking problem.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that same thing where I want stuff to stay nice, and so I act in a way that makes stuff nice.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want trash all over the place, And so I dispose of trash in a proper receptacle.
Hmm.
I don't just throw it out the bus window or the train window or whatever it is that, you know,
Yeah, that's some certain
because
types do.
I have care and love and respect for my countrymen.
Yeah.
And I understand that those actions would severely impact them in a bad way. But that's a function of civic pride and civic nationalism, whatnot. And I believe that stuff like the existence of beautiful nature and national parks and stuff like that helps, like the fjords in Norway do help you latch on to your Norwegian identity a bit more.
Yeah.
Right. Because your country is gorgeous. It's beautiful, and it is majestic. It's awe-inspiring. And so as a product of that land, you have every right and obligation to feel proud of that.
Yeah.
And for that beauty to, even though you didn't have part of it, it's still the land where your ancestors grew up, you know?
Yep.
And it's the land that didn't get fucking turned into giant commercial fisheries and destroyed by your neighbor or by your predecessors. You know, it wasn't destroyed by the Vikings. It wasn't destroyed. It was maintained.
Yep. They took as much as they gave.
Yeah. It was maintained and handed down to you. And I think so often now, not not entirely in America, because we have a lot of laws against that shit. But I think so much now is that people feel no obligation to maintain they feel no obligation or duty to maintain the beautiful and amazing world that was handed to them.
Yeah.
And was maintained by the previous generations.
There is, but it's not just that, but they don't feel the responsibility, because it is sort of a two-way thing. If you want something, you will, or if you own it in a way, it's been inherited, you will take care of it because you feel a duty to do so. However, what a lot of people struggles to do is feeling that sense of ownership where you want to maintain it. Instead, they feel like they are entitled to it, which is pretty much what kills them all. It kills that
they think it's
desire to maintain it, to take care of it, because it is mine, but I don't really feel any kind of connection to it, so I'm just gonna let it rot and let someone else take care of it.
Right.
Which is honestly just fucking disgusting.
So it's it is. Like, people shun their duties and their responsibilities to make society a better place.
Yeah.
Under the hopes and prayers that other people will do it for them.
Yeah.
Which that goes back to the whole, was it Gandhi quote? Be the change you want to see. Which apparently he wanted to see the change of consent laws amongst minors, but the point stands. Be the change you want to see. If you don't like something, bitching about it doesn't fix the fucking problem. Fixing the problem fixes the fucking problem. So if you see beautiful nature and you want to preserve it, just talking about it isn't going to help. Taking pictures of it and getting those pictures out to the public in a way that generates enough public interest and will to want to preserve that, if for no other than it's part of our national identity.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
That looks good, dude.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is it. What do you think?
Yeah. That looks good, man.
Thank you.
Like, I know with something like this, we could faff around about it for hours.
Oh, definitely.
But for the sake of brevity, Um,
And to prove that me and Dave can do an episode that's
under an hour.
45 minutes, this is
Oh, are
basically
we
it.
under 45?
Yeah, we're 40 minutes sharp. Ah,
Well, and it's a landscape piece too. I knew it was going to be quick because it was a landscape piece.
yeah.
And
I'm not as good with it. As you can see, the geyser is pretty rough, but I feel I managed to get the right kind of energy out of it.
yeah, absolutely. And you don't get better without practice. That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful sunset, so we have Old Faithful in front of a beautiful sunset here.
Yeah.
With mountains in the background, some happy little mountains in the background, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think.
The picture you showed me, it was a bit flatter, but I like having hills.
Yeah.
And mountains.
Yeah.
And I also
It was
tried to
taken
get
from
some of
a the angle of that photograph was taken like close and long, if that makes sense, because it was a tall photograph.
Right.
It had a really weird aspect ratio because it wanted to catch the full height of the geyser without much anything else around it.
I get it.
So it was a close focus on the geyser without anything in the background, and I feel like you did a great job of improvising and adding a really good background onto it.
Thanks.
So there you go.
See, there's one thing I need to try. Just one thing I need to try.
One more little thing I gotta fuck around with. Just one more thing.
I can stop whenever I want,
just
but I
put
just need to try this, alright?
And put some mist out there. There you go.
Yeah.
Don't get too carried away with it though.
I know. Just let me cook.
Just remember, you're looking at a really long, a wide, deep perspective here.
Yep. Let's see. How does that look?
That looks good.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Alright. This has been Old Faithful. With me today has been Dave from Total Blackout Painting. And I would like to say thank you very much, Dave, for joining me. Always fun having you here.
Oh yeah, man. No, it's my pleasure as always.
Thank you. A big thank you to Bezek, who will edit all of this and upload it for me. Thank you very much for your service, Bezek. And also a big thank you to Robert Renato, who continuously let me use his music on this channel. Again, really appreciate it. And to everyone who has taken time out of the day to watch and or listen to this video. I appreciate it greatly, and thank you very much for your time. Have a good day, everyone. Goodbye.
Adelaide, folks.